Hey everybody, Joseph Bailey here, certified public accountant. I want to take you through a very great tool that I think anyone who is investing in stocks or performing an analysis of stocks can find immense value in. So that's for US listed stocks. This is a tool that is a combination of a screening tool, a fundamental analysis, and a valuation tool. To give you an idea of how it works, I've already screened companies that have a market capitalization of greater than $5 billion. They're in the consumer discretionary industry within the distributors and auto components segment. So I want to perform a fundamental analysis and get an idea of what the intrinsic value of these stocks are. So to do that, I'm simply going to copy and paste this data into my stock criteria, and then I'm going to go into my analysis page and begin to perform the analysis. So the screener is going to take about 10 to 15 seconds to go onto the internet and grab all the financial information that we need to look at the most important data to make our decisions on whether this is something that we might want to buy. On the right side here, we've got a snapshot of the summary, which every company is provided simply by typing in their ticker. If you don't know what the company is, there's your summary. Right off the bat, we have our income statement analysis, our balance sheet, debt coverage, liquidity, payout, historical return, and return on capital. This company is trading at $20.17, and our model, based on the baseline information, is giving us a $3.38 to $6.94 valuation. Don't look too far into that at this moment, because there's things that you could do to change that, such as going into the valuation tab. Currently, this is looking at enterprise value to revenue. We might want to look at enterprise value to EBITDA, or free cash flow firm, or the EBIT. For the sake of this model, I'm just going to keep it on the revenue. If we think that the 10-year forecast, we have a negative 0.7 for a 10-year forecast, and that's because our model is looking at the trend, and it's got a negative trend. So if we wanted to change that, we could simply do change in the stress factor, which is then going to change our value of this company. So we could get it into our buy, sell, or hold decision. But you want to make sure that you're getting a forecast that you're comfortable with. So this is just the baseline information. For me, this company would not be something I want to look further at, just off of my first 20 seconds looking at it. So I want to go to the next ticker. LKQ Corporation is our next one. So again, 10 to 15 seconds. We're going to have all this financial information right at our fingertips. We're going to have a quick snapshot of the baseline valuation to determine if this is something that we want to look further into. And whoa, wow. So we've got a quick buy there. It's currently trading at $24, or we're getting a low of 181 and a high of 380. So those are probably a little bit out of range. But why is that so? I could only imagine that it's because of, look at this great revenue growth, and since we're doing an enterprise value to revenue valuation, this is going to give us a high valuation. And in our 10-year forecast is forecasting that it's going to continue growing at that rate. But maybe we just want to get down to like a 10% growth rate, in which case, wow, this is still a good company to buy. If we want to look at the balance sheet, it's got great assets to equity, wow, great liquidity. And if you don't believe that, you could go directly into the balance sheet, and here we are. We've got a current assets of $2,317 to current liabilities of $751. Wow, total assets of $5,573 to total liabilities of $2,853. So this company, just off of the first glance, does have some pretty good financial metrics, and it would actually be something I would want to add to my watch list. Now, you don't make a buy decision necessarily off your first glance. You need to go in and do your due diligence. But what this screener does, and what this tool does, is allows you to see the information very quickly to decide if it is something you need to investigate further. Is it currently trading under its intrinsic value, and perhaps being a good buy situation and being something that could add value to your portfolio? for me, I would definitely want to add this to my watch list. I won't do that for the sake of this video. I'm just going to go to the next ticker, which is Continental AG. So again, in 10 to 15 seconds, we're going to get all of this financial information at our fingertips to do a quick analysis to determine if it's something we need to investigate further. If you don't want to go through the stock criteria where you need to click next ticker, if you already have your portfolio and you know what the tickers are in your portfolio, that's great as well. You don't need to do the next ticker. You could just say you own Microsoft. You could type my MSFT, the ticker symbol, into this blue tab here, and in 10 to 15 seconds you're going to get a quick fundamental analysis of the trailing 12 months, 3-year, 5-year, and 10-year information. You're also going to get a baseline valuation. And even Microsoft, wow. So it's currently trading at 42, and this model is, with the baseline, is giving it a low of 41 and a high of 68. So I would actually want to investigate this a little bit further. And imagine, okay, I don't really know how that valuation is coming up. Well, let's look at the assumptions. Our target inputs is sales growth of 9.2%. We've got income and payout inputs, and we've got balance sheet inputs. We can actually go into the valuation tab and perform manual overrides of some of the most important information that we need. So perhaps the company issues guidance for next year's revenue, and this model isn't taking into account for that guidance. You could go in and manually override some of that revenue information, whether it be in the free cash flow, whether it be in the income statement or the balance sheet. You could manually override that information to make sure that you're comfortable with the valuation to determine if that's a buy, sell, or hold decision. Or you could just go into the analysis tab and simply, it's currently got a 10-year forecast of 8.2% revenue growth. I want to double that just for fun's sake. So going up to 15.8%, you're getting a really high value there. Maybe I think it's going to be less. I could decrease it down to 4.3, and as you can see, our value will change accordingly. We're giving you a high, a low, a medium value, but more important than the value itself is the numbers that it gives you in Microsoft Excel. A lot of the financial data you get these days is in the internet. You've got to copy and paste it. You've got to export it to Excel before you could perform your fundamental analysis. We're giving you that information in Excel with a click of a button, very fast, very effective, very efficient, very accurate. There's nothing wrong with any of this data here. The valuation, on the other hand, that is not a science, it's an art. It's up to the user to determine what is the fair value, what is their target price. Every analyst has a different opinion, everyone's got different estimates, but at least we give you the ability to make those changes and make those determinations. Another thing I really like about this model is if I wanted to put 100 different companies in here, or perhaps I screened 1,000 companies that all pay dividends of greater than 1%, and I want to know whether or not I should look further into them, I could click Auto Analyze, go to sleep, and wake up the next morning, and every single stock that meets my criteria will be in my watch list waiting for me to perform my own further fundamental analysis. So for example, if I wanted to look at those stocks that only give me a buy, I could click Auto Analyze, go to sleep, go through 1,000 companies in my sleep, and when I wake up in the morning, there could be 10, 20, 30, 40 companies that the model recommends to buy, in which case I would want to look at them further. Or maybe I don't want to just do a buy decision because, as you can see with Microsoft, it's saying to hold it, but it's still pretty close to its low estimate. So I could say things like, is it got good growth and income? Does the stock have a good balance sheet, good current ratio? Is the quality of income good? And if these stocks meet my criteria, it doesn't necessarily have to just be a buy, but as long as it meets the criteria that I want, then when I wake up in the morning, those stocks are going to be there, and I'm going to go look further at them and hopefully find the ones that I really want to invest in. This has really helped me add value into my own portfolio. It eliminates the junk stocks that oftentimes we'll spend too much time on. We could just look at the quality stocks, the ones that meet our comfort level and our criteria. Also, if you're a firm that doesn't like these valuation techniques and you want a different valuation techniques, we will actually work with you to build in different techniques to make sure you're comfortable with it. We will work with you to build in the right assumptions that you want to make sure that you're comfortable with this model. I think anyone can use this, whether you're valuing stocks for options trading even, and you wanted to find out what is the intrinsic value of a company and you need to buy the appropriate put or the call option, you could do that. If you want to just screen stocks to find the undervalued one relative to their intrinsic value for a long-term holding period, you could do that. If you just simply want to value the stocks that you currently hold or perform a fundamental analysis of the stocks you currently hold, you can do that as well. So this is really for anybody that's trading or analyzing any U.S. listed stocks. We think that this is going to be able to add value to so many people's portfolios. It's going to be able to save you so much time, and I really hope that this is something that interests you. If it is, please contact me, Joseph Bailey, the Certified Public Accountant. I've been doing this now with this model particularly for 1 year, and it's helped me add a lot of value to my portfolio. I think it can help you do the same. I've just barely scratched the surface on what this model can actually do for you. There's a lot more in depth, and within 1 hour of training, I believe that you could be screening stocks, valuing stocks, performing a fundamental analysis of stocks. Of course, any tool that you get, you're going to need to have some training, and we're going to be able to give you that training. We're going to help you to make sure you're comfortable with this. We're going to help you to customize features if you need to. We want your feedback as well. So again, if this is something you're interested in, please let me know. Joseph Bailey, Certified Public Accountant with Armentum Inc. Thank you.